Hi, I'm Noelle.
And I'm Felicity.
And this is your RCHS News.
Here's what's in store for this episode of RCHS News.
I'm Brianna Bagel, and I'll be bringing you the calendar update.
I'm Rchs, and I'll be bringing you your sports calendar update.
I'm Sydney Brill, and I'll be bringing you full coverage of the state's girls basketball tournament.
I'm Zarek Napier, and I'll be bringing you a story on a chair, but there's more than meets the eye.
I'm Nikita Collins, and I'll be bringing you a story on the fine arts.
I'm Sam Kirk, and I'll be bringing you a story on Travel West Virginia.
I'm Alex Stanley, and I'll be giving you a behind-the-scenes look at video journalism.
I'm Shantae Blizzard, bringing you a story on MOVTI.
I'm Franklin.
And I'm Andrew, and we'll be bringing you a story on
the rules of RCHS.
I'm Noelle Jones, bringing you a story on the new breakfast policy.
I'm Rebecca McDonald, and I'll be bringing you memes and puns.
First, let's catch up with Brianna Bengal for our calendar update.
I'm Brianna Bengal, and here's your RCHS calendar update.
March 23rd is payday for teachers.
March 28th is the OEPA visit. Good behavior, please. That goes for you too, teachers.
April 10th to the 17th is spring break.
Hey boys and girls, get your grades up. April 7th is report card day.
May 12th is the seniors, the last day of school.
May 15th, senior picnic. Bring the turkey.
This has been your calendar update. I'm Brianna Bengal with RCHS News.
Thanks, Brianna. Next, let's pass it over to Rico Wright for a Rebel Sports update.
On March 20th, the baseball team hosts Wirt County at 4:30, and your tennis team travels to Parkersburg Catholic at 5. On March 21st, your track team hosts a 6-team event at home at 4, and the softball team travels to Doddridge at 5. On March 23rd, the tennis team travels to East Fairmont at 5. March 24th, the tennis team is at North Marion at 5, your softball team is at Wirt County at 5, and the baseball team travels to St. Mary's at 5. On March 25th, there's a tennis match against Berkeley Springs, Kaiser, and Frankfort. The track Job's Invitational is at Williamstown at 10 a.m. Softball will host Magnolia and Liberty at 10 a.m. And the baseball team travels to Oak Glen at 1:30. March 27th, there's a softball game at home against Tyler Consolidated at 5, and there's a baseball game at home against Magnolia at 5. March 28th, the tennis team travels to Parkersburg Catholic at 5. There's a track LKC quad at Williamstown at 4, and the softball team plays at St. Mary's at 5. This has been Tristan Wright with your sports calendar update.
For our first story, we'll take it to Charleston with Sydney Breaux reporting on the girls' state basketball tournament.
For the first time in over 10 years, the Lady Rebel basketball team made it to the state tournament. In celebration of their achievements, the school held a pep rally the day before to send them off. The two seniors on the team, Sam and Stephanie Kirk, had messages for the school.
This isn't just for us, this is for the whole school. And regardless of whether you're going or not, enjoy the fact that this is happening, because it's not just for us, it's for every single one of you.
I'm really excited to represent the school and represent our coach. He really deserves it. I'm excited to be able to do this for him. So come support us, and if you can, support us how you can. We appreciate it.
3 fan buses followed the girls to Charleston to support them during the game. Over 130 students loaded the buses on Wednesday morning. The Ritchie County Rebels would face the Wheeling Central Knights in the first round. The Lady Rebels start off on a 10-0 run when Stephanie Kirk gets into the lane and scores. The game is tied at 12 after the first quarter. In the start of the second quarter, Cassie Tallman drives to the rim, leading the Rebels on a 10-2 run. Cassie ended the game with 17 points. Eden Gaynor from Wheeling Central closes the gap at the end of the first half. The Rebels are in the lead, 26-22. At the top of the third quarter, Tallman passes the ball to Abby Hott, where she scores 2 of her 12 points of the game. The Rebels are up by 7, 31-24. Central will end the third on a 9-0 run. Riley Bennington with her 3 of 15 at the top of the key. Central leads 33-31 at the end of the quarter. Taylor Dublaga makes the fast break layup to stop the Rebels from advancing. Wheeling Central will win the game by 11 points, 58-47. Overall, Coach McCullough said that he was satisfied with the team at States.
Look at it down the road, we weren't the team that's supposed to be here. You know, if you looked at the regions, everyone penciled in people. We made it here, and we knew we could compete with anybody down here, and we showed that.
Even though the girls did not win, the school is still proud of them. I'm Sydney Brill reporting for RCHS News.
Thank you, Sydney. We will head back to the school where Rchs Napier will tell us about the signed chair that has been at every boys' basketball game.
This weekend, I took a drive with senior Travis Pickering, who was doing his senior project on a chair. That may not sound that interesting, but this, well, it's no ordinary chair. Last spring, Travis's father passed away due to complications from cancer. Travis, being a four-sport athlete, tells us how he didn't want to play sports again, but it was his mother who persuaded him.
I decided that I was going to finish that track season, and honestly, I wasn't going to play any sports my senior year because I was going through a lot right there during that time, and it hurt me a lot. So I decided from that point on, after that track season, I was done with sports for good. And then Mom sat me down and talked to me, and we decided together, and she talked me into playing sports, and that really fueled me because I obviously just go out and do everything for Dad.
Travis tells us how it was also his mother who came up with the chair idea, a chair people who have lost a loved one could sign, along with donations to the Jimmy V Cancer Research Foundation.
The chair idea was really, my mom came up with the idea. Megan Merritt, through the Bog Strong Foundation, she lost her brother to cancer, so through the Bog Strong, and she's big with the Bog Strong Foundation, which feeds into the Jimmy V Foundation a lot of money. And she's the one who her and my mom came up with the idea of the chair.
Travis concludes by saying that every sporting event that he has participated in since his father's passing has been all for his father.
Last year during track season, for example, when I found out about Dad's passing, every meet that happened about midway through track season last year. So every meet from there on out to the state track meet, I ran for him and in his memory. And everything I did, everything I accomplished was for him, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then football and cross country this year was really the same way. Doubling up on sports like that really is tough on the body, And it's tough to get through both seasons, especially doubling up football and cross country. So it just gave me strength to knowing that he was there with me all the time and really helped me push through. And for basketball season was really for Dad, especially with the senior project going on. Every game was for Dad. And this track season is going to feed in the same way. Every meet, I'm going to run for him, in memory of him, honor him.
So this chair isn't just an ordinary chair. It's a motivator, a drive to succeed, and a symbol of hope for a cure for cancer. For RCHS News, Rchs Napier reporting.
Thanks, Eric. Let's go class to class with Nikita Collins to learn about RCHS fine art classes.
Have you ever wanted to be on a dance team, be able to understand the meaning of music, or try pottery? Schools around us have the opportunity to do these things, but yet we only have art, band, and theater. Could we have these same opportunities? We caught up with Gabe Murphy and Felicity Cathers to tell us some fine arts their schools had.
Music appreciation. In that class, you listen to music and you determine what the meaning of some of the things in the music was.
We had a huge dance program that were offered when your classes were going on. You could get out of class if you had your little green pass to go to either ballet class, acro.
We then talked to Brittany Harper about how she feels towards introducing more fine arts and how it may benefit some students.
The county needs to get more programs in for the kids that don't specifically want to go into one specific program. Maybe they want to experiment with something like shop class, and I think that'd be a great addition to the fine art classes that we have here.
Miss Wyndham tells how adding more fine arts could enhance her art classes and change how she teaches.
Well, I definitely think that more needs to be added. I have generalized my art classes simply to be able to accommodate more people, but I would ultimately like to be able to have like ceramics classes and painting classes, sculpting classes that would be more specific to the individual.
Ms. Stokes says she likes the idea but sees how it could be unrealistic.
I think that it would be a great idea to give some of these kids opportunities to really showcase other talents, but then again, I don't know how realistic that it really is.
Ms. Wagner says that she is aware that more fine art should be introduced.
Yes, we all know that we need more. One of our issues when it comes to art and what Mrs. Wyndham can offer, students have to have a fine arts credit to graduate. Those fine arts credits can be art, band, choir, theater. So a lot of her day is tied up with art classes, Art 1, Art 2, where we could, would love to have a ceramics class. We'd love to have an art appreciation class.
Is the possibility of more fine arts being introduced at Ritchie County realistic? We'll just have to wait and see. This is Nikita Collins, signing off.
Hey Noelle, have you ever been snow tubing?
No, I haven't, but I heard the Travel West Virginia class did. Let's slide on over to Sam Kirk at Canaan Valley.
Students at Ritchie County High School are finding new ways to learn. Travel West Virginia offers unique ways to explore the state. The teacher of Travel West Virginia, Mrs. Lamp, explains the benefits of this interesting elective.
I think the benefit is a lot of students are not familiar with some things and activities that we have here within our state. Everyone likes to travel abroad, but they kind of forget what is nearby and kind of get out, and it's a different class for other electives. You get to go out and take trips, actually.
She then listed the positives of students exploring their home state.
I think it's like a hands-on experience. We get to go out and try new things. For instance, this last trip we did ice skating, and I guarantee that several students had never been ice skating prior to that.
Mrs. Lamp said that the trip is not only fun for the students, but also for herself.
I myself enjoy the trips as well, watching the students have a good time. We did tubing and ice skating and visited Blackwater Falls on our most recent trip, and we have another one planned in the spring to go ziplining.
Travel West Virginia student Josh Dwyer tells us about his recent experience.
I definitely had a good time. I wish I would have had some warmer gloves, but other than that, I'm good.
He also believes that Travel West Virginia is a class that everyone should take.
I definitely think that Travel West Virginia is a class that everybody should take and want to learn a little bit about the state.
Student Ryan Morton describes the most exciting part of the trip.
We got in these tubes and just came off this ice, snowy slope. Linked up to 3 people, slingshotted sometimes, tried to jump a few lanes. Had a great old time.
He then told us why the trips are so beneficial.
Oh, well, it gets to see a part of the state that you probably wouldn't see it on regularly. So to come out and to see another part of the state is pretty interesting.
For any student who likes to learn and have fun doing it, Travel West Virginia is for you. I'm Sam Kirk reporting for RCHS News, sliding off.
Thanks, Sam. Sam and Vanessa worked for 2 classes on this trip. Let's see what it takes to make a video like this.
For the past 10 episodes, we here at RCHS News have been putting together a program for the whole school to enjoy. But what actually goes into putting a show together? We caught up with students Rchs Napier and instructor Robert McPeak to hear how much work actually goes into the class.
Well, pretty much how we put a story together is we start off with a script and write down what we're going to say, what we're going to ask the interviewee as the interviewers, and then we pretty much just go film it, go get some B-roll, which is like footage of anything that rolls over what the interviewee is saying, and then we just put it all together on the computer and put it on YouTube.
We then caught up with instructor Robert McPeak. McPeak goes on to explain the challenges of video journalism.
Biggest challenge of video journalism class is that it's a project-oriented class, and kids move at different paces, and their projects aren't all the same. Some projects are simple and some are complex, and so sometimes there's some downtime in the class, and it's very difficult for me because I'm a complete control freak. I want every child deeply engaged in a learning activity at all times, but it just does not work that way in a project-oriented class like video journalism.
Tristan, aka Rico Wright, explains the challenges he faces as a student.
Well, if you're not very experienced with technology, editing's kind of difficult. I have trouble with the editing part, so if I'm in a group, I usually let the other person handle editing. Deadlines are kind of difficult because you have to make sure you get everything done in time, or McPeak gets grumpy, and nobody wants McPeak to get grumpy. Nobody likes that.
As you can see, there's a lot of work that goes into our show. This is Alex Stanley, signing off.
Thanks, Alec. Now let's go to St. Mary's with Shantae Blizzard to get the behind-the-scenes look at MOVTI.
Not many students know what MOVTI is, so we are here today to give you a peek inside. We met up with Ryan Hott to find out what MOVTI is and what it's really all about. He tells us about some of the 13 programs they provide there and how attendance plays a big role at MOVTI.
The Mid-Iowa Technical Institute is a career and technical education facility, what is called a multi-county career center.
We talked to senior Noah O'Day about his experiences at MOVTI.
I took carpentry at MOVTI, and I feel like MOVTI is very beneficial for the students because it gives them a way to learn, like say they're interested in one of the programs over there, it gives them a way to learn about it, and you can get certifications for certain things, and in a sense it could really help set you up for like the future.
So as you can see, MOVTI has a lot to offer a student. I'm Shantae Blizzard reporting for RCHS News.
Thanks, Shantae. Now we will hand it off to Andrew Mahoney for the report on school rules.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Franklin.
And we bring you the rules of
RCHS. Bullying isn't nice.
Eat that nut! Eat it. Eat it. PDA is a no-no.
Eating in the labs is not allowed.
I'll be there, Dave.
You are not allowed to goof off in class.
Being in the hallways at lunch is not allowed unless you are going to a help lab or academy. No hats and or hoods are to be worn in the school at any time. And now a word from our sponsors. Thanks for enjoying our video.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for that, Andrew. Speaking of new rules, have you heard about the new breakfast situation?
Yes, I have heard it. Let's have Noelle Jones clear up the confusion around it with her report.
Many students are outraged by the new breakfast policy. Middle school students eat from 7:30 to 7:45, leaving high school students only enough time to grab their breakfast and head to class. Nikita Collins expresses her concern for the new breakfast policy.
Well, I personally hate it because I have to stand in line for a good 10 minutes now, and then people decide they want to try and pass me because they don't want to wait in line. And I don't want to wait in line either because then I'm almost late for my class, and that sucks.
Freshman Allie Stout gives us her opinion on the matter at hand.
So I think it's good that we're in the gym, and I think that it should stay that rule. I honestly, I don't think we should actually have a school with the middle schoolers. I think we should just have another school, for ourselves. I don't think we should interact with any middle schoolers.
High school principal Mrs. Wagner explains the new breakfast policy.
Our issue with breakfast is in the morning. We've had way too many students in there. We have all middle school, all high school. It's hard for us to monitor. It's hard for people to find a place to sit down and eat, those kind of things. So we're trying a new strategy, and we're trying to work through it, see if we have any issues with it. And our new strategy is all high school students will report to the gym until 7:45, so that the middle school will have the whole cafeteria from 7:30 to 7:45.
Students are lining up to hear that the policy is being discontinued. This is Noelle Jones, signing off.
Thanks, Noelle.
Now to see the end of the show, let's see what Rebecca has for us this week.
Thanks, Rebecca.
I'm Noelle Jones.
And I'm Felicity Cathers. And this has been your RCHS News.